Rhode Island, 1971, January. The ground is frozen. Leafless trees cut across a gray sky like broken fingers. A station wagon moves down a country road. Inside, 5 children. Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, April. Singing, arguing, pressing their faces to the glass. Up front, Roger and Carolyn Perron. He's laughing. She's studying a folded map in her lap. They're moving into a new house. It's a happy day. The house is in Harrisville, an 18th century farmstead. 200 acres, a lake, a forest, a red barn. Big, cheap, perfect. What they don't know, what they couldn't know, is that at least 8 documented deaths occurred on that property over 2 centuries, that the land carries an old name, tied in local records to a woman, Bathsheba Sherman. They're driving toward her house. It's 1971. The tires hum against frozen asphalt. Come, witness this with me. The Arnold Estate, built in 1736. You step through the front door. The floorboards, old oak, groan beneath you, not in warning, in memory, as if the house breathes under your feet. To the left, a sitting room with a stone fireplace blackened by decades of use. To the right, a kitchen with small windows, dim even at noon. At the end of the hall, a staircase, narrow, the steps worn inward by generations of footfall. 8 bedrooms, an attic, a cellar. The cellar has no natural light. It has a door that opens with a sound Carolyn will describe years later as something that didn't sound like wood. The Arnold family worked this land for generations. Rhode Island public records confirm drownings in the nearby pond, hangings, suicides, at least 2 murders across the centuries. Bathsheba Sherman was real. She lived in the Harrisville area in the 19th century, married, had children, died in 1885. Her gravestone stands in the Harrisville Cemetery. You can visit it today. During her lifetime, local rumors connected her to the death of an infant in her care. She was never charged, never convicted. The records from that era are ambiguous. The family believed Bathsheba had no intention of leaving, that her presence was felt most strongly around Carolyn, as though she saw the mother as an intruder in her territory, or a replacement. Andrea Perron was 10 years old when they moved in. Decades later, she would write about it across 3 volumes, over 900 pages. Not the account of someone selling a horror story, the account of someone who still wakes from nightmares. The first weeks were ordinary. The kids explored the 200 acres. Roger fixed the barn. Carolyn planted despite the cold. And then things began disappearing from where they'd been left. Keys, brooms, a piece of Carolyn's jewelry. They turned up again in other places, always somewhere else. Carolyn is in the kitchen, mourning, the smell of coffee, and then something underneath it, rot, not spoiled food, different, older. It disappears, it comes back, sometimes on the staircase, sometimes in the upstairs hallway. Roger wakes, footsteps in the hallway, slow. He gets out of bed. The hallway is empty. This happens for weeks. Knocking inside walls, sounds that stop the moment someone goes to look. The children start refusing to go to the attic alone. April, the youngest, 5 years old, begins talking to something invisible. She calls it Manny. She says Manny is a boy who plays with her. A child's name in a house where children died. Unexplained marks on Carolyn's skin, bruises with no origin, a sensation she describes to her daughters as being touched by something cold when no one is there. Her condition deteriorates over the years. Roger will say later, "The house did things to Carolyn I can't explain. She wasn't sick before. The house did something to her." 1973. The family has lived in the house for 2 years. Ed and Lorraine Warren arrive, the most well-known paranormal investigators in the United States. Declared believers, not skeptical scientists, but meticulous in their documentation. They take the case. Lorraine Warren later describes the house as one of the most active we ever investigated. 1974. Lorraine proposes a seance. Roger refuses, afraid of what it might wake. Carolyn insists. It happens. And then, Carolyn starts to speak. But it isn't Carolyn's voice. It's lower, older. It speaks of things Carolyn couldn't know. Roger walks into the room. He sees his wife. He screams at the Warrens to get out, that they brought this, that they made it worse, that they need to leave his house. The Warrens leave. They don't come back that night. Andrea Perron will describe this as the worst moment of her life, not because of the supernatural, because she watched her father, the strongest man she'd ever known, completely broken by fear. The family did not flee the house in a single dramatic night. They lived there for 10 years, 1971 to 1980. They left for financial reasons, not after an exorcism. No formal exorcism on the property is documented. Roger Perron himself felt the house had been more subtle, more psychological than what the movie showed. What the film captured accurately, the isolation, the way the house separated them from the outside world. Roger's attempt to hold everything together while it all fell apart. That part, the daughter said, was right.
Harrisville, Rhode Island, today. The Arnold estate is still standing, still occupied. The current owners have reported over the years experiences they preferred not to detail publicly. Andrea Perron is in her 60s now. She keeps talking about the house, not with anger, with the quiet steadiness of someone who has made peace with having lived through something that has no name. She says the house gave her more than it took, that she learned what courage looks like because her parents stayed, because her father went to work in the morning even when he hadn't slept, because her mother sang to her daughters even when something was watching.
Bathsheba Sherman's grave still stands in the Harrisville cemetery. It has flowers on it sometimes. No one knows who leaves them. The case is officially closed. Closed is not the same as resolved. 10 years, 5 children, a woman who was changed, a man who never said much about what he saw, and a house still standing, still settling in the night. That house loved us and terrified us in equal measure. Andrea Perron, House of Darkness, House of Light. Have you ever seen a mysterious figure in the dark? A shadow you can't explain? Share your story in the comments or send it to crypticzoneofficial@gmail.com.
Thanks for watching!